Hi everyone, it is Thursday, October the 15th. We are back where we started in Houston, Texas. So we got a load in Colorado on Monday and we kind of came down in fits and starts to get here today. That goes back to that 70-hour time clock that I talked about earlier. And if you run your full 11 hours of drive time out every day, then 4 hours into day 7, you're finished with your clock. You've used your 70 hours and you have to wait until day 9 when it starts over to get any hours back. However, if you don't run your clock out every day, which we did not, then it's possible to get to day 8 and still have some hours left on your 70-hour clock. Like I said, that happened to us. We had some hiccups with that first load, so we only drove 4 hours the first day and 5 the second day. So that 8-hour window is a rolling window. So when you get to day 9, day 1 drops off. So any hours that you drove on that day, you get to pick back up. So on Tuesday was day 9 for us? I think so. Tuesday, we picked up the 4 hours from day 1 because day 1 dropped off. The next day, day 2 dropped off and we picked up the 5 hours from that day. Today, we picked up the full 11 because on day 3, he ran 10 hours and 59 minutes. Rolled into the truck stop with 1 minute left on his clock. So by the skin of his teeth. So we got the full 11. But and that's why it's ideal to get your 34-hour restart to get back to that 70-hour bank. Otherwise, you're just chasing your tail like that, picking up hours here, picking up hours there. And that's why we had to hopscotch down here, because we had to do 4 hours one day and then we drove 5 hours the next day. We went from Loveland, Colorado to Amarillo the first day. And then yesterday we went Amarillo to, really wanted to get to Rome. It was 20 minutes to Rome and he had 11 minutes on his clock. So we stopped in Decatur. So anyway, that's how it works. And no big deal. He got up early this morning, I think 3:30, and did a pre-trip. And that's something I haven't really talked about, but a pre-trip is usually about 15 minutes or so, and you go walk around the truck, make sure your lights are working, make sure all your mud flaps are in place, hit on the tires with, what do you hit on your tires with?
I use my fist. Most of the guys use a tire thumper.
Either a tire thumper or your fist. He uses his fist. But to just check all 18 tires, make sure none of them are flat. And there's probably other stuff you check too.
Quick check under the hood.
Quick check under the hood for fluids. And this is every morning whenever you start to drive that shift, you're going to do your pre-trip. So anyway, he was up at 3:30, got all that squared away, hit the road by 4, so we were down here to deliver by 9. And now we're waiting. And that's a big part of truck driving, is the waiting. So you're either waiting for them to load you, waiting for them to unload you, or waiting on a trip assignment. And that's the category we're in right now, is we're waiting on a trip assignment. And we've been waiting a while. It's been 2 or 3 hours. And his 14-hour clock, which is each day you have a 14-hour clock from the minute you sign on duty, which would have been about 3:30 when he started his pre-trip, his 14-hour clock starts running. And once it's done, you're done. You can't drive. You can't do anything. So that's what we're racing now. We really had hoped to get an assignment so we could pick up and get on home. We're only 3 hours from home. And if we could get on home today, then I could sleep in my bed and not that bunk bed up there, because that's not funny. My age is really talking to me every time I go up and down that ladder. The rungs are like for somebody 7 feet tall, because anyway, I don't know if I could show it to you right now. It'd take a lot. But anyway, it collapses when you're not using it, and then I have to pull it out. But It is not easy. And in and out of this truck is not easy. I told him, if you hurt your leg or your knee or something, you can't be a truck driver because you can't get up and down out of this thing. So anyway, I need to go to the gym and start working on doing some leg days before I do this again. So I'll have a little bit more strength. Anyway, so we're waiting on a load. Wanted to go home just because we're so close. And I work Saturday and Sunday, so I'd really like to have a down day at home before I get back out to work. That's okay if I don't. But he was on a while ago when was on his phone. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm looking for loads." He was on a load board, seeing if he could help his dispatcher out. And you know, I've actually been really impressed with his dispatcher. He's gotten us some quick loads this trip. So it wasn't too long after we delivered that we had another one assigned, but it looks like that trend ends today because we've been here for a while. But I think we've probably only got about 45 minutes to an hour. If we don't have something assigned by then we're gonna just tuck in here at the Flying J and spend the night.
Yeah.
So you know, the thing about getting home, he's got to have a load going west, and so it's got an extra requirement. There's a lot coming out of Houston, and they could probably get him something going east. If he had free reign to find him something, he could probably get something pretty quickly. But because we have to have it going west so he can drop me in Austin, it just adds that extra stipulation. So anyway, we will work with what we've got, and I am gonna sign off for now and catch up later when we've got somewhere to go. All right, bye.